So you're thinking of self-publishing books on Amazon KDP, but have a ton of questions. Well, you're in luck because in today's video, I'm going to discuss getting started self-publishing books on Amazon KDP. So go on and grab a cup of coffee and let's get started.
Here's coffee, Pop.
Thank you, sweetie.
So the first question that I get a lot is, what is KDP? Well, KDP stands for Kindle Direct Publishing, and it is Amazon's print-on-demand platform where you can self-publish your books. The next question I get a lot is, what kinds of books can I publish on KDP? The short answer is pretty much any type of book that you can think of that you can create. There are a couple broad stroke categories that we can talk about when it comes to publishing on KDP. We can talk about low content books, and we can talk about written books. A no content book is a book that has no writing in it. So think of things like lined notebooks, maybe coloring books, things like that don't actually have any writing inside them. Low content means there's a little bit of writing in it. So maybe a little prompt journal, something along those lines. Mid content are things that have quite a bit more writing in it, but not like a full written book. Things like puzzle books that may have a lot of writing in it, things like that. And then you've got written content. Written content is what most people think about when we talk about being an author. You know, whether it's children's books, nonfiction, fiction. In this channel, I actually talk about quite a bit of these different categories because I personally have written in children's books, middle grade, young adult novels, nonfiction, and then I also do puzzle books and other types of low content, mid content books as well. So on this channel, I talk about pretty much all of those different types of books, and all of them can be published on Amazon KDP. The next question is, do I need to write to sell books on KDP? Well, like I just said, some of those categories require little to no writing at all. So like I said, you can start out doing lined notebooks or maybe doing puzzle books and things like that. Or if you do want to have a written book, but maybe you just don't want to do the writing, well, then you can hire what's called a ghostwriter. And ghostwriters are basically someone that you pay. You give them an idea for a story. How much information you give them is completely up to you. And you can decide how much you want control and how much you want to give them. And I've got a whole video on hiring a ghostwriter. But again, you can have a written book that you didn't even write. Or you can create books that have no writing in them. So you don't have to write books in order to sell them. The fourth question I get is, do I need experience to self-publish books on KDP? And the answer is no. You don't need any kind of experience. Having experience using some kind of text editor or Word-based, whether it's Microsoft Word, Google Docs, PowerPoint, whatever you want to write in, having some familiarity with something along those lines is definitely beneficial, but you don't need to. You can go into self-publishing on KDP with absolutely zero experience. And besides, there are plenty of channels like mine where we share all the steps, from basic all the way up to advanced. So regardless of where you're coming from, how knowledgeable you are in books or in self-publishing, it doesn't matter. Anybody, and I mean anybody, can start publishing books using Amazon KDP. The fifth question I get is, do I need any special software to self-publish books? And again, the answer to that is no. You don't need any kind of special software. Obviously, you need some kind of word processor, again, like Microsoft Word, Google Docs, something along those lines, something that you can write in. So you need that kind of software. But other than that, you don't need anything else. You may hear people talk about Publisher Rocket and all these other, softwares that are out there. And are they helpful? Yes, many of them will save you a ton of time. But I will tell you, you do not need any of it, especially when you're first starting out, especially if you're on a low budget. I would save your money to spend on other avenues like your book cover rather than on some fancy software. Once you start making money selling your books, then you can invest back in your business. The next question I get a lot is, how do I get my books printed? I've created the book, whether I've written it or it's low content, no content, but how does it get printed? Well, it's called print on demand. Like I said before, KDP is Amazon's print on demand platform. Print on demand, or POD, is just what it says. When someone orders your book off Amazon, then and only then is it printed. So you don't have to, it's the days of old where you have to buy hundreds and thousands of your books and keep them in a warehouse or keep them in your garage. You don't have to do any of that anymore. You literally don't even have to own a physical copy of your book if you don't want to. Once you publish it up on Amazon, then whoever wants to come and buy it can go onto Amazon, order your book, and then it will be printed and shipped from Amazon. You don't have to touch any of it. So that's how you get your books printed on Amazon KDP. The seventh question I get is one that's a little controversial when it comes to my answer. But the question is, do I need to market and promote my book? The short answer is no, you absolutely do not. You can publish a book up on Amazon KDP and never promote it, never tell anybody about it, and you're technically a published author or a published creator. But if you want to make money off of your book, you can really increase your chances of getting visibility and sales if you do some kind of marketing and promotion. Again, you can have it up on Amazon and you might get, organic sales, maybe one, maybe two, who knows? But there's millions of books up on Amazon and other marketplaces. And so in order to get your book seen above the noise, you have a much better chance if you do have a marketing and promotion plan. Now, this doesn't have to cost you a ton of money. There's so many different ways that you can market and promote your book, whether it's free or paid. But if you want to sell your books, if you want to start making money, depending on how much you want to make, will determine how big of a marketing and promotion plan you need to have. To answer the question, generally speaking, to begin with, the only marketing and promotion that you really need to do is just promote it on social media, tell people about it, put it in your email signatures. And I've got other videos to tell you how to market and promote your book. But the short answer is no, you don't need to market and promote your book in order to publish it. But if you want to make money, you increase your chances of getting visible and therefore turning into sales if you market and promote your book. Question number 8 is, how much does it cost to self-publish a book on Amazon KDP? The answer to this really depends on what kind of books you're creating. So if you're doing low content, no content books, then it's absolutely possible to create and publish a book with very little, if any, money spent. If you're going to spend money, like I said earlier, instead of buying software or whatever, I would spend that money on a good book cover personally. But this doesn't have to cost you a lot. I have book covers that I get done that range between $10 and $30 per book. Again, not going to break the bank. But you can, if you don't even have that kind of funds, you can create your own book covers using something like Canva. And we're very lucky that Amazon KDP and other print-on-demand platforms don't charge us to publish a book. We can go into Amazon KDP with, you need 2 files. You need your cover and you need your interior, whether it's a low content book or a written book. And that's all you need. That's all you need to publish. All of that can be done for free. So you can create a book and publish it at no cost. It all comes down to the quality of your cover and the quality of your interior. And we discussed this in more detail in other videos, so I'm not going to belabor it here, but it all comes down to those 2 things. It comes down to your quality cover and your quality interior. So if you're doing a written book, then I would strongly suggest that you hire an editor to edit that book. Even if you have an English degree, there's still things that an editor might catch that you might not. So the 2 things that I would suggest, if you have the funds to pay for, would be a good book cover, and if you have written content, some kind of editor to edit your book. But the actual publishing of your book on Amazon KDP is absolutely free. Quick side note, another cost that could come up when it comes to self-publishing books, that would be if you wanted to buy your own ISBN, which is an International Standard Book Number. And it's not required. Places like KDP and other print-on-demand platforms do offer a free version where the imprint says independently published instead of whatever your business name is. And again, I've got a video on whether or not you should use an ISBN, but that is an additional fee that you may choose to go with. But again, it's not required to pay that kind of money to publish a book on Amazon KDP. You can use one of the free ones that they offer. Question number 9 is, how do I get paid with KDP? Where's the money? How do I get the money? Well, I can only speak for myself, and every country is different. But here in the States, I have mine on autopay, so where I give them my bank information, and I get paid every 60 days. So if we're in February, I'm going to get paid for sales that I made in December. That money just gets wired into my account, and that's it. I do know that in some countries, they can send you checks. Again, that's not everywhere. So you're going to have to check. You can go on KDP's website and go in their knowledge base and type in how to get paid in whatever country you're in, and it will tell you what payment types they allow. But here in the States, how I get paid is I get paid by bank deposit. So next up is question number 10, which is absolutely my most frequently asked question. And that is, how much can I make selling books on KDP? And you might not like the answer to this, but like a lot of these questions, it really depends. It depends on a bunch of different factors. One is, what's your expectations? Make sure you have realistic expectations. What do you want? What do you need to make? Sometimes people are doing this not as just a side job. This is their main income. So what do you need to make? And I will tell you that I have, when I first started out, I think my first check was like $12. Now I make thousands of dollars a month doing it. But it comes down to, one, what's your drive? How much time do you have? How serious are you about this? Is this just something you want to do on the side, just something for fun? Or do you really want to make a full-time income? All of that is possible, but it's going to depend on what you put into it, just like any business. If you sell just one book, if you make just one book, then you're going to have to spend an awful lot of time, energy, and probably money marketing and promoting that one book to get enough significant sales to replace a full-time job, let's say. But if you're willing to put in the work to one, market and promote your books, also to create multiple books, then it's a lot easier to see those higher income, because you're putting less effort and less work on each of your books. So figure out how much money you want to make. How much money do you want to make? Let's just say a month. Okay. When I publish my books, all of my books, I set the price for, and I set that I'm making at least $2 profit off each book. Okay. So if I know that I need to make, let's just say $1,000 a month. If I need to make $1,000 a month and I'm getting $2 profit off each book, then I need to sell 500 books in a month in order to reach that $1,000 plateau benchmark. I can make those 500 sales off one book, but if I have 10 books, well, then I only have to sell on average 50 of copies of each book. So again, it makes it a lot more doable, a lot more realistic. But again, how much can you make? I've seen people make literally 6 figures a month self-publishing books. Do they spend money on ads and everything else? Absolutely. But I've seen it done. I've seen people make 6 figures a month in profit selling books on Amazon KDP. That said, I know plenty of people who don't make any money, whether it's because maybe their book cover is not good quality, maybe the interior is questionable, or maybe they're just leaving it up organically if they're in a super competitive niche. So there's a lot of different factors that go into the success that you and your books can have. But when it comes to how much money can I make self-publishing books on KDP, it's really the sky's the limit. It all comes down to what you're willing and able to put into the business, whether it's financially, your time, whatever. And I wish that each and every one of you see whatever amount of success you're looking for. And hopefully you'll find that this channel can help you do that. Well, I hope I was able to answer some of the major questions you may have when it comes to first starting out your self-publishing journey. If you found this video helpful, please give this video a thumbs up. It gives me that nice warm fuzzy feeling, and it lets YouTube know that this is a good video to share to other people. And if you still want to self-publish books, please consider subscribing to the channel and clicking that bell notification so you get alerted every time I put out new videos, just like this one. Now, don't let the learning stop here. I did a back to basics video all about common book publishing terms. You can check that video out right here. If you've already seen that, or maybe you're not interested in learning all the terms, YouTube says that this video is perfect for you. So I'll catch you inside one of these videos. And remember to write right.